The knock came at 7 a.m. on the coldest Saturday in January, sharp and impatient, like someone who expected the world to bend to their schedule. I pulled on sweatpants and a flannel over my long johns, breath clouding in the chilly cabin air. I kept the thermostat low to save on propane, and opened the door to a woman in a spotless white parka, blonde hair yanked back so tight it looked like it hurt. "Jack Thompson?" she asked, voice clipped and nasal, already annoyed. "That's me," I said, rubbing sleep from my eyes. "I'm Evelyn Harrington, president of Pine Ridge Homeowners Association. We need to discuss your violation of community standards right now." I blinked. Pine Ridge was the gated development built a few years back on the east side of Willow Creek, Montana, a town of maybe 2,000 souls tucked in the Rockies. My cabin sat half a mile outside their fancy gates on land my granddad homesteaded in the 70s. "Ma'am, I'm not in your HOA. My property's not part of your subdivision." "That's irrelevant," she snapped. "The county road to our community runs right past your land, and you have a legal obligation to maintain it during winter storms." I leaned against the doorframe, waking up fast. "That's a county road. If anybody maintains it, it's the county, not me. The county says budget cuts mean they only handle the highways. You're the only one in Willow Creek with a working snowplow. As a responsible neighbor, you should help." Technically true. I ran a 2016 Dodge Ram 3500 with a heavy-duty plow blade, the only reliable rig left after the county's old equipment kept breaking down. Winter was my busy season, clearing driveways and private lanes for folks around town. Last year, the county even hired me when their main plow threw a rod. "I help neighbors who pay me," I said evenly. "Same as anybody else who works for a living. If your HOA wants the road cleared, my rate's $75 an hour, 3-hour minimum. Neighbor discount." "That's extortion," she hissed. "That's business. Now if you'll excuse me, it's my day off." I started to close the door. She jammed a fancy boot in the gap. "Clear that road by Monday, or the HOA will pursue legal action. We have connections with the county commissioners. Don't test us." Heat rose in my chest. I'd dealt with pushy folks before, but Evelyn was in a league of her own. "Get your foot out of my door, or I'll move it. And tell your HOA I don't take kindly to threats. Have a nice day." I pushed the door firm. She stumbled back, face flaming red. Through the window, I watched her storm to her gleaming black SUV and peel out. This wasn't the first run-in. When Pine Ridge broke ground, they'd tried buying my land twice. Offered what they called generous, but it wasn't enough to sell 3 generations of family ground so some developer could flatten Granddad's cabin for another cookie-cutter mansion. I made coffee, sat at the kitchen table staring at snow-laden pines. The storm had dumped 8 inches Friday, more coming tonight. I had 3 regulars booked: Mrs. Ramirez at the diner, Hank Sullivan's hardware store, and the Miller's Horse place north of town. My phone buzzed. Text from my buddy Deputy Mike Larson. "Heard Evelyn Harrington stopped by. Gossip moves faster than snow here." I replied, "Yeah, real sweetheart. Demanded free plowing. Good luck with that. Mike, she's been a headache since she arrived. 3 noise complaints last month alone. Hank's rooster crows too early, apparently." I snorted. That rooster had been announcing dawn for 15 years. I layered up wool socks, insulated bibs, Carhartt jacket, and headed out. Snow was piling fast. Mrs. Ramirez handed me hot coffee when I finished her lot. "You're a godsend, Jack. Breakfast rush at 9, and I was worried we'd stay closed." "No trouble, ma'am. Heard Evelyn came by your place, too." She shook her head. "Walked into the diner last week. Complained we don't have vegan options. This is Montana. We do steak and eggs, not kale smoothies." We laughed, but her eyes turned serious. "Watch yourself, Jack. She's been trying to change everything since she moved here. Church bells too loud. Fire siren scares her dog. Even pushed to ban hunting inside town limits. Folks like her don't quit till somebody stops them." The rest of the day was steady work. By afternoon, my back ached, but the bank account felt good. Then an unknown number rang. "Jack Thompson? Gerald Hayes, County Commissioner's Office. We received a complaint." "Let me guess. Evelyn Harrington. She claims you're refusing essential services in a weather emergency." Also alleges you threatened her this morning. That's nonsense. I quoted my rates. She didn't like them. No law says I plow for free. I understand. But she insists Montana emergency statutes require assistance, since you're the only plow operator. She's threatening a lawsuit if you refuse. Is there such a statute? Long pause. I'm not certain, but she's persistent. Politics, you know. I grip the wheel. I'm a private contractor. I set my rates. If they want service, they pay like everybody else. If they sue, that's their money wasted. After hanging up, I sat watching flakes swirl. This was spiraling quicker than I'd expected. Evelyn wasn't the type to back down. That evening, more snow fell. Forecast, now 14 inches total. I was frying steak when engines rumbled outside. 4 SUVs, all Pine Ridge stickers. Evelyn stepped out with 3 others, 2 women, 1 man, dressed like they were headed to Aspen, not confronting a guy in the backcountry. I opened the door before they knocked. Private property. Leave. We're not leaving till you agree to clear our road, Evelyn said. People can't get to work. Kids can't get to school. It's Saturday. No school. Not the point. The younger woman snapped. You're being selfish. You're trespassing, I said. Rates are posted. Pay or go. The man stepped up, fake tan glowing. Buddy, you don't get it. We have lawyers. Good ones. We can make life uncomfortable. I pull my phone. I have the sheriff on speed dial. Want to see who arrives first. Evelyn's eyes narrowed. I dialed. Mike picked up quick. Got 4 Pine Ridge vehicles on my land, refusing to leave. 10 minutes out. Stay inside. I hung up. Sheriff's en route. 9 minutes now. They stood frozen and used a pushback. Evelyn spun and marched back to her SUV. Before driving off, she rolled down the window. This isn't over, Mr. Thompson. Mike arrived, took my statement. This is harassment now. Ground for a restraining order if they keep coming. I just want them gone. I'll file the report and warn her officially. Sunday brought 16 inches. I worked all day, good money but bone-tired. Every pass by Pine Ridge's access road showed it worsening. Ruts, ice, 1 SUV abandoned halfway up. I fell for the regular folks trapped in Evelyn's fight, but I couldn't work free. Bills don't pay themselves. Monday, Aunt Clara, who worked county clerk, called low-voiced. Evelyn was in Friday asking about your property records, taxes, liens, business licenses. Digging for dirt. Everything's current. Registration, insurance, the works. I told her, but she won't stop. She ran the Rusty Spur Bar out of business last year with complaints till they couldn't fight anymore. Anger simmered. This was classic HOA overreach. Newcomers moving in, then remaking everything to their taste. No regard for folks who'd been here generations. Tuesday, the county called again. Pine Ridge petitioned to suspend your business license. Monopoly on essential services, price gouging in emergency, threats. That's crazy. They're the harassers. Mike filed the report. Commission hearing Wednesday. You'll speak. She's bringing counsel. I felt sick. Lawyers cost money I didn't have. Mike came over furious. Abuse of process. I'll testify, pull their complaint history. Show the pattern. Wednesday, the hearing room overflowed. Locals packed in. Mrs. Ramirez, Hank, the Millers, Pastor Ellis, old-timers. On one side, Evelyn and a dozen Pine Ridge folks looked uneasy. Commissioner Harlan, grizzled rancher, called order. Complaint against Jack Thompson's business practices. Evelyn stood. 43 families trapped. Jack refused service in storm. Demanded exorbitant fees, threatened arrest. Murmurs rose. I stood. She demanded free work at my door. I quoted fair rates, same for all. She threatened first. When they came to my property Saturday, I called the sheriff. Her lawyer argued monopoly, public safety. Commissioner Ward cut in. No declared emergency, just a storm warning. Can't force private businesses like that. Hank spoke. County plows broke half the time. Jack's the only reliable one because he maintains his gear. Mike, 17 complaints from Pine Ridge in 18 months. Noise, smells, everything. Pattern of forcing their way. Sarah Miller. We raised horses 40 years. They called it nuisance. Applause. Old Mr. Whitaker. 73 years here. These folks don't join the community. They remake it. When we resist, they weaponize the law. Commissioner Harlan, no evidence of violation. Leave Mr. Thompson alone. Pay his rates or find alternatives. Hearing closed. Cheers erupted. Evelyn stormed out. But she didn't quit. Friday, a civil suit arrived. $50,000 for negligent refusal of essential services. My lawyer friend Tom reviewed it. Harassment suit. Weak case, but defending could cost 10 to 20 grand, even if we win. I stared at the papers. This could bankrupt me. Then Amanda Klein from Pine Ridge called. Many of us don't support Evelyn. We're trying to vote her out tonight. Got the sheriff report? Hearing transcript. I sent everything. That night she called back. We did it. 28-5. New president, Tom Whitaker, retired engineer. Practical guy. Wants the road cleared safely. You willing at regular rates. I thought. These folks had stood up. $75 an hour, 3-hour men. Or seasonal contract if you want. Next day Tom Whitaker called businesslike. Seasonal deal. $500 monthly for storms over 3 inches. Fair steady. February 5th, I plowed their road. 4 hours, bad shape but done. Residents waved thanks. Lawsuit dropped. Tom's bill, $3,400. Hurt, but better than ruin. March, Mike called. Evelyn's complaint still active, pushing for menacing charges. Unbelievable. County attorney interviewed me with Tom. Review docs. Insufficient evidence. Pattern of baseless complaints. Closing it. No charges on her. Standard high for false report, but noted in file. Mid-March bombshell. IRS auditing Pine Ridge HOA. Tip. Evelyn used funds for personal legal bills, including mine. Over $20,000. Turned criminal, embezzlement, tax fraud. By June, Evelyn and husband sold. Moved to California. Plea deal pending. Their house sold to nice folks from Helena, doctors. Hired me winter. No issues. Pine Ridge changed. Tom Whitaker kept it transparent. Events, good neighbor. I got competition. New guy Luke from Helena. At first worried, but enough work. We coordinated, referred overflow. Story became legend. Diner talk, hardware store yarns. Mrs. Ramirez still poured free coffee. Saved us from HOA tyrants. County passed HOA rules. Financial reports, fair elections, dispute steps before suits. 2 years later, on the anniversary of that knock, I sat on the porch with coffee, mountains quiet under fresh snow. Phone rang, new client. Quota rate scheduled. Just another day. Evelyn faded from news. Heard Arizona now. I learned standing firm matters. Community matters more. Sometimes justice arrives slow, but it arrives. What do you think? Was I right to hold my ground, or should I have plowed for free to avoid trouble? Share your thoughts in the comments, especially on standing up to bullies and injustice in everyday life. Where do you draw the line? I'd love to hear your stories and opinions.